Welcome back to PipeCast. This is
This is how you do it. That's right.
welcome back to PipeCast with a new series we're starting up today called Hodge Codge. We'll be reviewing Codger blends from days gone by. So today's episode is Sir Walter Raleigh. Oh,
You owe me a pipe.
I tell you what, you want to start that over?
Yeah,
I'll do it again. All right.
Sorry.
Welcome back to PipeCast and a new series we're calling Hodge Codge, where we explore tobaccos from days gone by or over-the-counter codger blends, as you would call them, that you can get at your local drugstore.
And on this episode, the first episode, we'll be covering Sir Walter Raleigh. Let's look at that blend real quick. All right. So this is Sir Walter Raleigh, currently blended by Scandinavian Tobacco Group. This is an aromatic burley blend with hints of cocoa and oriental spice, according to the Tobacco Reviews review. Again, it's all burley, so there are no components to compare it to because it is all burley, which is typical of aromatic blends as far as your Codger blends or your brick and mortar style. It's usually some kind of flavored burley. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Let's get over there and see how it smokes. So that was the blend. Again, a pretty quick top down because it's just burley. Though it is aromatic, it's got a topping on it. Kind of nutty topping. I believe the Tobacco Reviews says it's like anisette. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward blend. I've never had, a Codger blend, in the traditional sense, like, your Carter Halls, your Prince Alberts, anything like that. So, this is the first one for me, and this kind of is a first impression, last review because, well, no, it's not. It's not. We both have been smoking it leading up to now.
Right.
Yeah, I was kind of pleasantly surprised by it. When Zach brought up this idea of this series, and maybe it's just my impressions or my, what I thought Codger blends were. In my head I was thinking, stuff of little importance like, Balk and Sobrani. I thought that's what I was imagining in my head. Just air, smoking air with nothing on it. And I kind of thought, why would anybody, again, this is just a presupposition. Wait, that might not be the word. This is an assumption that I had, which was that, why would anybody be smoking these blends when you could be smoking, I don't know, pure Pure Virginia at least, or heck, 3 sales. Why go this route? Now, granted, we've talked about that before. There's concessions that need to be made on these blends because they are readily available. You can get them anywhere. You don't have to get on a website to get these. You can get them the drugstore, anywhere. It doesn't matter. But I was really pleasantly surprised when I loaded not even before I loaded Sir Walter Raleigh into my pipe. The smell already, I was like, man, this smells pretty good. I can see why it's an aromatic. It's got a nice smell to it. Loaded it up, and that it didn't. The flavoring to me didn't burn off immediately. It kind of stays relatively through the bowl, and it's got a nice nuttiness, and it's very kind of reminiscent to some of these Christmas Cornell and Dill blends that we've been smoking. What was the last one we did? Jolly Old St. Nicholas. Kind of has that feel to it. So I kind of understand it. I understand. I mean, we talk about how when a blend is readily available on smoking pipes, how that's a benefit.
Right.
Almost. Even though that transcends the blend as far as its components, it plays a factor. And this is even more to that point. Because if I could I guess you got to kind of think of it in terms of old world versus new world, right? We live in a time where, and pandemic didn't help this, but millennials, for the most part, millennials and the generations after that. I heard somebody say this in another video the other day. It's kind of like millennials avoid conflict. Like we don't want to. We'd rather just make it simple, right? And I heard this in it was more talking about like, you know, the old-fashioned way of buying cars, right? You know, you go to the salesman and you have to play this like, you know, this dance to try to get the deal that you want, and the salesman's trying to, you know, get every penny he can out of you. Millennials don't like that. A la the way Apple does, you know, the way they sell their phones, the way Tesla sells their cars, the way a lot of the industry is going to start going with electric cars. You know, I think Ford has said that all electric cars are going to be bought through their website. Mm-hmm. There's some legalese there. You know, there's franchising laws from state to state that makes it where you have to have a dealership. Regardless, but the psychology is, you know, millennials, we like Amazon. We don't like Walmart. We want to order it and have it show up on our door. And so thinking back, you know, again, you know, when we see Artisan's blend is readily available on smoking pipes, you know, guess what? We're gonna get that over Penzance or Margate, that we have to kind of search around for. But you know, take that back to you know, millennials, I guess more old timers. This is that to that. You know, yeah. I can get this at the store. I don't have to get online. I don't have to fool with that. Put my credit card in there and fool with that. I can go put cash on the barrelhead down at the drugstore and get me a pack of, you know, Sir Walter Raleigh. So, right. I see the benefits of that. Like I said, we're kind of living in a different world now. I think where, you know, depending on the mindset you're at, this is actually more hard to get because you have to get in your car. You got to go down there. You got to go buy it. But granted, you can still get these online though. Right. Too. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. So I was pleasantly surprised by this blend, just to say the least. I think you know, I wouldn't say it's a rotational, but it's kind of one I'd come back to every now and again, even though there's not a lot going on. It's just burley. I think it is just as nice as Three Sales was, or is, or you know, whatever. So you know, yeah. I mean, that's all I got to say about it.
Well,
yeah. There you go.
You know, this is I guess, you know, I think what we're going to discover is that a lot of these Codger blends have a very singular note, and this is a Burley Boy episode. You know, Sir Walter Raleigh was introduced into the American market in 1927. It's got a long history. It's almost 100 years old. Of course, it's changed hands a couple times, so we're about 4 years off from being a 100-year anniversary of Sir Walter Raleigh. But so it's been around, and you can see in Sir Walter Raleigh, like Patrick was mentioning, that it has a no fuss, no muss kind of mentality behind it. Even if you look at old commercials, you know, 44% fresh or whatever, you know, you got like a barbershop quartet and they're all sitting around hunting. It's got a very Americana aspect to it. Yeah. It has that like, we want to feed you a lot of copy. You're going to sell based on what we're you know, sending out to you. It's not the greatest blend in the world. It's not the worst either. So it's definitely I'm in a pinch, but I can go get this and it's consistent. Interestingly enough, this is a Scandinavian tobacco group, and as we know about STG blends, great tobacco. So no complaints there. I am surprised that I assume when I get a pouch, as soon as I get the pouch, you know, I'm assuming chemical. That's what I think of. And this doesn't have that. This has more of a natural taste than I had originally anticipated. Yeah. The star anise and stuff, the topping, or whatever that aromatic quality that comes with Sir Walter Raleigh, I mean, it must burn off pretty quick because it's not, for me, super consistent throughout the bowl. But the burley is nutty. It is flavorful enough that I'm getting into it. It's a meat and potatoes. Smoking Sir Walter Raleigh, I can definitely see how older pipe smokers gravitate towards Old Joe Krantz and Haunted Bookshop.
Yes.
Burley forward, a lot of smoke in the mouthfeel, and burley has a high nicotine content. That's what they're looking for, and you can see that if you just pick up a blend of Sir Walter Raleigh. Obviously, that legacy has sort of crept its way into more top tier blending houses. when they're producing like haunted bookshop and stuff, and you can see how that translates over. I don't think Sir Walter Raleigh's a bad blend by any means, or any. It's just like I said, real meat and potatoes. It's not. I want to go do some stuff like I feel like Three Cells kind of invoked in me, but it's also it's Sir Walter Raleigh doesn't lend itself to being a sit around blend either. This is I like smoking a pipe, but I know what I like, and what I like is, I guess burley in this case, really consistent flavoring throughout the bowl, not a cheap tobacco by any stretch of the imagination. It's got a kind of a cube cut kind of blend thing going on, and it's
actually I like the cut a lot.
The cut's good.
The cut is I think I was expecting shag, like super shag. Was it Margate? Is Margate very shaggy? But no, I was pleasantly surprised. I think the aroma when I opened up the pouch, when the aroma hit, that was like a good note. Like I was like, oh yeah, here we go. And then when I saw the cut, I'm like, oh okay, here we go. And so yeah, everything was starting to like. Maybe that colored my impression of it, but it ended up, it ended up being good. I smoking it. So yeah, I this is boding well. Now my fear is that we may have started off with the best one.
Well, that's fine. This is, you start off with the best. You go through and you be objective as possible. I think it's a good. I don't think it's. I'm going to have to do a comparison to Haunted Bookshop in this.
Oh yeah.
So expect a Haunted Bookshop coming soon, I'm sure. But I'm going to make a direct comparison with it and Sir Walter Raleigh. Yeah. Because this is what it reminds me of. But I can see how Cornell and Dill decided to make a dupe, so to speak, of a copy of Sir Walter Raleigh, and what they produced was Haunted Bookshop.
Yeah, which is weird though, because let's assume, right, that is 100% accurate, that Haunted Bookshop was an attempt to copy the Codger blends, or at least in this case Sir Walter Raleigh. It's interesting to me, and I'm not a marketing genius here, but it seems interesting to me that your attempt was to harken back to something like Sir Walter Raleigh, but then you named it something that seems very millennial.
Well, I think the thing is that it's not. I think it is and it isn't. And what I mean by that is this: it's only a duplication. It's only a copy.
Yeah. In
as much as people really like burley blends, let's just make a burley blend.
Okay.
I don't think it's a one for one of like we're gonna make a Sir Walter Raleigh.
Yeah.
Or I think the naming convention would have been similar. I think what it is people seem to like burley. Let's just start with burley.
And it just by happenstance it got very close to Sir Walter Raleigh.
That's right.
Because if I had been running anything, again, not a marketing person, I don't own a business, but if I had been involved, and I had the knowledge base, if I had already had Sir Walter Raleigh, and then, what's that guy's name? That blends
Reeves.
Reeves. And if I was Reeves, or if I worked there and Reeves handed me what would become Haunted Bookshop, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's call this what's his whole name? What Reeves?
Jeremy Reeves.
Yeah, call it Sir Jeremy Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
Call it something Sir Greg Peace. Do something that harkens back to that. Something to that.
Like I said, I'm not sure if it's a one for one though.
No, probably not. But
because I think if it was, you would get some sort of a more statesman, sophisticated name.
Yeah.
Somebody like Oliver Cromwell. Someone who took care of the Irish the way they needed to be taken care of.
Yeah, that's right. I guess you're a Columbus fan too. You like genocide. No.
Little history jabs there.
But don't mess with the Irish. We'll come back and get you. He's married to an Irish woman. You believe that?
Yeah, I know, right?
He's out here just slamming us.
Well, You know, what am I going to do? You know? The way I proposed to her was with a potato. So, yeah. Still married, too. You know, it's crazy.
Couldn't say no to that, right?
Right. Well, she's like, I'm so hungry. That is horrible.
Yeah, it is horrible. All right. Well, this will be the last episode we ever do. No, on a serious note, I think if you're out there and you're kind of like me, and haven't, you came in tobacco already at that elevated, smoking those blends that we talk about all the time. I didn't even start out with aromatics, Mm-hmm. So, but even if you did, even if you started out with brick and mortars, but you've never given, the OTCs, a chance. I think this is a good reason to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you're not out. I mean, how much was that pouch?
I think like $8.
So I mean, it's about the same as a tin of tobacco. I mean,
it's cheaper. Tins are going for $15 now.
Oh, really? Did you? Okay. Well,
but I mean, like,
so it's
I also think you can get that cheaper. I got it at a brick and mortar, which is your costs are going to flux up a little bit.
You haven't checked to see what like pipes and cigars or smoking pipes what they say. But most of the time, those though they're going to give you a big proportion. You're probably not going to get the Everfresh pouch with that. You're going to get like a big old like quart of it or something. You know? Yeah. So, but yeah, I recommend at least giving it a shot. I think you're not gonna. It's worth your time at least to kind of, I guess, step in the shoes of the old timers,
right?
And kind of harken back to those days. So,
yeah, it's a good blend. I mean, I think it's worth your time, especially if you're in a pinch. So
yeah, so. Well, this is our first ever Hodge Codge series video. We look forward to doing the next one. We hope to see you there.
Yeah. Thank you.